It was supposed to be a perfect evening. Our kids had spent weeks planning our 40th wedding anniversary. The backyard was decorated with fairy lights, old photos, and tables of food. Our wedding song played softly in the background, and friends and family toasted to true love. Evelyn stood beside me, smiling like she always did, calm, composed, radiant. Everyone kept saying how lucky we were, how rare it is these days to stay married for so long. I believed that too. I believed we were the exception, the rock-solid couple others admired, the team that had survived life's storms together. After everyone left that night, the house grew quiet. We sat together in the living room, sipping wine. Evelyn was silent, her fingers tightening slightly around her glass. I asked if she was okay. She nodded, but there was something strange in her eyes. Not sadness, but fear. Then she looked at me and said the words that shattered everything. I need to tell you something. It's about the past, about something I did a long time ago. I waited, unsure whether to brace myself or comfort her. She went on. It was 38 years ago. You were away at that conference in Chicago. We had been fighting a lot. I was lonely and I felt like you didn't see me anymore. I drank too much one night. I didn't mean for anything to happen, but it did. I slept with someone else. My heart stopped. She kept talking, her voice cracking, hands trembling. It was just once. I regretted it immediately. I thought about telling you 100 times, but I didn't want to ruin what we had. And then I got pregnant a few weeks later. I always told myself it was yours, but I've never been sure. Silence. The world around me seemed to stop moving. I stared at the fireplace, numb, as if all the oxygen had been sucked out of the room. One of our children might not be mine. The next day, I barely spoke to her. I went through old photo albums. I looked at our oldest son's baby pictures. I remembered the night he was born, how I cried holding him, how I told Evelyn he had her nose, how I had never, not once, questioned that he was mine. But now the doubt had crawled into my mind like a parasite, and it was eating me alive. I ordered a DNA test. I didn't tell anyone, not even Evelyn. I wanted to know the truth first. I wanted to be sure before I told my son, before I did something that couldn't be undone. The days waiting for the results were the longest of my life. Every moment I spent with my son felt twisted, tainted. I hated myself for feeling that way, but I couldn't stop. When the results came, I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I read the line again and again, hoping it would change.
I don't remember
He
driving
wasn't
home.
mine.
I just remember walking into the house, seeing Evelyn,
And knowing that everything had changed. She looked at me. She knew. I told her. She broke. She sobbed uncontrollably, collapsed into the kitchen chair. She kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I was young. I was stupid. I thought I could forget. I didn't want to lose you." And then she said, "If you want to leave, I'll understand." I didn't say anything. I went upstairs, locked the door, and sat in the dark for the rest of the night. The next week was a blur. I slept in the guest room. I barely ate. I couldn't look at Evelyn. I couldn't look at my son. But slowly memories came back. Not the painful ones, the good ones. I remembered how he hugged me on Father's Day every year, how he cried when his dog died and I held him, how he told me I was his hero when he graduated college. He was my son. Biology couldn't erase that. I also remembered Evelyn, how she stood by me when I lost my job, how she helped me care for my dying mother, how she forgave me when I got drunk and yelled that I hated everything. She had made one mistake, a huge life-altering mistake. But she had also loved me for 40 years. Love isn't simple, it's messy and painful. It's full of cracks and shadows. We decided to go to therapy. We had to face the mess. It wasn't easy. I was angry. I was broken. I shouted at her in the therapist's office. I asked her how she could lie for decades. I asked her if she ever looked at me and felt guilty. I asked if she would have ever told me if we hadn't reached 40 years. She said she thought she could carry it to the grave, but the guilt had become unbearable. And then, something changed. I saw her cry, not just with guilt, but with fear. She was terrified of losing me, and for the first time, I saw that she had punished herself for this every day of our marriage. The pain hadn't just been mine. Eventually, we told our children. That was one of the hardest days of my life. Our eldest didn't say anything at first. Then he hugged me. "You're my dad. That's all I care about." We cried together. I'll never forget that. 3 years have passed since that night. Evelyn and I are still together. We still have quiet dinners. We still take Sunday drives. We still argue about what to watch on Netflix. But something's different now. We're no longer pretending we're perfect. We're survivors of something awful, and we chose to stay. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing to love in spite of the pain. It's choosing to rebuild when everything is broken. It's waking up each day and saying, "I still choose you." That's what I do. And that's what she does too. Because after everything, she's still the love of my life.